What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another Car Meet Garage. I'm Car Meet Greg, and I'm here with my buddy Donnie Middleton. And you're probably noticing by now, Don's on the other side of the screen, and that's because we're in his garage. And we're going to be talking a little bit about why Don likes cars, how he got into them, and a little bit about some of the cool shit that he owns. So thanks for having me over.
Thanks for coming.
I guess we'll try to keep this in a little bit of chronological order. And I guess some time ago, Mama Middleton and Papa Middleton, they popped out a little baby, and at some point, he found out about cars. So how did that happen, and when did it happen?
So my dad has been into cars since he was a teenager. He bought a 78 Z28 when he was 18 years old working at McDonald's. So I was born into it and fell in love with obviously F-bodies since. And growing up, my dad did doubles and derbies and figure eights and stuff like that. So just kind of where I landed. And my sister has Camaros. Two of my sisters have Camaros. My dad's got a bunch of them. I have a bunch of them. It's just kind of like a family affair, and I'll say that the cars pretty much saved my life.
Yeah.
So people watching videos notice left side of my face don't work. Got crushed at Fort Truck 2001. Super stressed out, and staying into the car hobby pretty much saved, you get depressed and stuff from stuff, you're stuck, and it's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
And so I just stuck with it. Like I always joke around about, I don't know what would have been cheaper, a good solid cocaine habit of the cars, but I feel like this is safer.
It's safer. I can't tell you about the financial aspect of it, but
right. I'm just taking a ballpark guess at it. So
right. So I've been told.
Right. So I've been told.
So okay, you mentioned F-bodies, and you and I, we've been to a handful of garages.
Yeah.
We also, between the two of us, we have a ton of car friends.
Yes.
We've been to not only our events that we host, but multiple car shows, races, other car meets. So we've learned that there's people who have a particular interest, a particular style. There's some guys,
right.
Like we were at Brandon Boyce's garage, and he said, yep, if it's got an engine into it, we're into it, Right. He's got little four bangers. He had the G8 and everything in between. But it's a little apparent what Don's into, right? So we've got
just a little bit
F-bodies, and what is it, Gen 2 LT1s that seems to be your taste of choice?
Well, and everybody's a little shocked to learn that I also do some four-cylinder stuff too, because I had the Cobalt S. I've had two Cobalt SS's and the Solstice. Yeah. I've also had a handful of Mitsubishi Talons and Eclipses and Lasers and the DSMs, the 4063 motors. I've built a few of those. I've had my hands in helping people to put together some Honda stuff. And but my particular main, I guess my main is my F-bodies. That is always my go-to. That is always my I always have an F-body.
Right, yeah, because everybody's kind of known for something. I'm sure people might associate me with GM stuff, old school stuff, going faster than you, going faster than you, going faster than you.
Right, that's what I'm associated with is my F-bodies.
Yeah.
Particularly the blue one sitting next to us. That I'm mostly associated with my convertible that's actually in the race trailer right now for storage. So. Right,
and that one is anniversary edition.
That is a 30th anniversary car. Been in GM High Tech Performance Magazine, LSX TV. It's been everywhere. It's took me 10 years to find that car, and I'll never get rid of it.
And you don't see a lot of those, but that's not the only one that's in the family, is it?
No. My wife has her 97 30th anniversary car too. So she always jokes around that if we ever get divorced, that I'll always have to know that she has one also. But we have with friends and stuff, and a lot of love, sweat, and tears into that car too, to get it from where it started to where it is now.
And we mentioned going to other car meets and stuff. You were actually doing the Bay City Rides thing for a little while too.
Yeah, that was Back before Facebook, MySpace, I actually looked in 2002 is when we started that whole gig, and it was for a while thousands of members, and we had a good time. And I've always said that there's been stepping stones in the area for the car community, and there needs to be a leader and a stepping stone to keep the car community going. And I kind of got handed that torch from a guy that we called Toot back in the day. He passed away. He was a solid dude, and he was like, "It's you now." And I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing." And so we did the Bay City Rides thing, and that went for over a decade. And then Cody Shalgowski did some stuff for a while, and he organized some meets and cruises. And Cody's a very near and dear friend of mine, and yours also. And yep. And then next thing you know, you started Bay City Car Meet, which is great, and it's better than Bay City Rides ever was, as far as what's going on with it. I'm glad to be part of it.
I mean, you're a big part of it, and it's been a lot of fun. We've really been doing a lot of things and getting a lot of new members and thinking up new events. You know, it's not just car meets, but
right.
We call ourselves Car Meet, but we try to host as many unique events as we can to try to bring people in and meet more people with F-bodies. And
right.
You know, it's a cool place to exchange info, shake hands with guys that are very similar to you, and it's been a real good community. You know,
when back in the day, these Fortune F-bodies were everywhere. They were like lice, man. And anymore, not anymore. You very rarely see them. You see them, but not in the quantity you used to.
And not in real good shape.
No.
You know, this thing still shines pretty good.
Yeah, it's a 2020 car. Like, for sure. It's still a pretty nice car. This is my 96 SS. But yeah.
So let's get into this a little bit.
Yeah, we can do that. So I can actually start off with the fun story about this one. Me and my buddy Paul, who Paul's actually helping us out with this one behind the camera.
Right.
We found this one online. I actually got tagged in it, and because I buy and sell F-bodies sometimes and try to save them. And this one was down in the south side of Chicago. So I had to confirm its authenticity with SLP. So this is a level 2, legit level 2, 96 Camaro SS. They call them, people call them a Z28 SS. That is true. I call it an SS. That's what GM calls. That's how the badging is. And so I called SLP. They confirmed the authenticity. Paul and I went to my bank, pulled cash. We were in his truck, and we were right down in Chicago with the trailer, and picked it up. While we're down there, we heard gunshots, and it was interesting. The guys we got it from, absolutely amazing people. The father and son who actually had the car were absolutely amazing to deal with down there. And bringing the car home, it started a fire inside my trailer. There was batteries hooked up, battery starter cable wasn't, bouncing around, sparks, transmission fluid. It was not good. So and now it's we got it home, and now it's a small cam in it, CC 305. Whole crap load of nitrous, because why not? And it's a 4060E car, completely stock rebuild, and it's painted. It's actually not. Some people think it's the Quasar blue. It's not. The previous 2 owners ago painted it. It's a C6 Corvette blue. I forget what that.
Okay.
I think I don't know if it's Nassau blue or whatever they call it.
Yeah, I guess it does look very Corvette-y.
Yeah, it's a Corvette color on this car, and I absolutely love this color.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of blues out there, and you can go wrong real easy with blue. But when you go right, it looks good. It looks really good.
They did a really good job on this paint, and the stripes are all painted on. It looks nice. All the pinstriping is all hand-laid pinstriping. Some people don't realize that, and you used to really start looking at the car, the attention to detail. The interior it's blue suede. I hate it. Some people love it. I am not a gigantic fan of the blue suede. It's all faded, doesn't look great, but at one point I bet you it looked really good. So, but this car is, if this car is out, it's getting beat on. and it just takes it. I could stick anybody in this car and just go out and flog it, and it's going to love every second of it. It just keeps taking it. It's fun.
I've seen it in action a few times.
Yep, you've seen the front of it and you've seen the back of it.
Both ends. I've seen both ends.
You've seen both ends. So it happens.
So speaking of a whole bunch of nitrous and the color blue, we got ourselves a pretty nice looking backdrop here. You don't see that in every garage.
No. There's more of them. So there's actually 2 of them still mounted inside this car. There's one inside the wife's car. I think actually 4 of these bottles are Paul's. Not those 2. There's Mike has one, and then that one is Paul's, and that one is Alan's, and then that one is Paul's, and I forget which other one. Maybe the brand next one. I don't know.
I still have the 2 white ones.
Oh, do you still have the 2 white ones? Okay. Then screw Paul, they're all mine.
We definitely like your nitrous.
Yeah.
And you're not afraid of a little boost either.
No, and with the nitrous real quick too, is I do lend those bottles out to people all the time if they ask me. So like Rex French, I've borrowed bottles to him before too. But yeah, I do like all sorts of, I'm a friend of all things induction.
Yeah.
My white car is turbocharged car. That's a Turbodynamic 7875, my 97 30th anniversary car. It's a fun turbo. It's too small for the car, but
still a turbo.
Still a turbo. It makes all the fun noises.
Right.
Previously, it was F1A Pro charged, and that nothing sounds as good as an F1A coming down the road. It sounds like the world's coming down.
Yeah.
So
that's a little bit of a switch from Pro Charge to turbo.
Yeah. I was tired of fighting belts, so I was constantly blowing belts off it, just in the natural design of the F-body bracket without making changes to it. They tweak, belt comes off, and you're stuck with no boost, and no boost is no fun.
Yeah, I'm sure you know when that happens.
Yeah, in a hurry. Eats belts. So
that's not all that you own. You got something that's not quite F-body too.
If you're referring to the Power Wheels, I've got my Duramax too. That thing's a lot of fun. Oh my God, it's all over the place. Oh Jesus, yeah. Sorry, I'm just scatterbrained as I normally am. So I also own a '96 Corvette. We call it the Poverty Vet, just because it's okay. It's not like New Balance and jean short nice.
Midlife crisis.
Right. It's definitely not a midlife crisis car. It's definitely, that's why you call it the Poverty Vet. So traded a 3rd gen Camaro for it that I had. And I took a giant L on that trade because that 3rd gen was super nice.
I've seen it. It's a nice car.
Yeah, it's a super nice car. And the Corvette runs great. It runs good. It drives good. It's surprisingly pretty quick for being completely bone stock. But that car, the wife pretty much told me at one point I couldn't have a Corvette, and I was like, "We're getting a Corvette."
Yeah, sometimes the reason to do something is being told not to.
Right. We'll call it spite, but now she actually does drive the car sometimes, and she actually is a Corvette fan. She had a '74 Corvette, and the Disco Vet. I hated that car, but
they're fun to drive.
They are fun to drive. The C4 Corvettes are a riot. It's no C5, C6, C7, C8, but it gets the job done.
So let's talk about future plans for everything that we've talked about. Let's start with this one. Is this the way you want it, or is there a wish list of parts that accumulate in some way?
That one is eventually going to go boosted, and we're going to get a bunch of weight out of it. So I had another chassis, a 98 SS, that I was going to race car. That was completely gutted chassis. But with my medical stuff going on with my back, it was not feasible for me to completely go through that car and completely go from scratch, So the blue car is going to be my race duty car. It's going to get weight cut out of it. I know that we can get these cars sub 3,000 pounds pretty easily. And it's not my first rodeo on doing that. So it's eventually going to go boosted. because nitrous is fun, but it does get expensive.
Yeah. You don't got to stop and fill up your turbocharger.
Correct. Right. $5, $6, $7 a pound in nitrous, and the amount that this thing hogs through it clears a bottle out and runs. So it's, you're 50, 60, $70 every time you stab the throttle for a quarter mile pass. So
yeah,
it's a lot.
It is cheap, easy horsepower.
It is.
When you're going to be doing it a lot, it's probably one of those stepping stone things. You use nitrous for a while, and it fits your needs perfectly for a little bit.
It's an entry level drug.
Yeah, there you go.
But if you had the budget, nitrous is completely great.
Oh yeah.
But sustainability wise, poverty guys like you and I, if you can go turbo, supercharger, something like that, your initial cost is there, but your continued use is negligible.
You're right.
So, but this one's going to get boost and weight out of it, and maybe some more suspension stuff. There's really not, it's all pretty much stock Bilstein, the level 2 stuff's in it. So it all functions fairly well for the 127 miles an hour that it tracked in the quarter. It does pretty good for it. So, but yeah, that's good for that one. Yeah.
The anniversary one, probably not a whole lot on the plate for that.
Well, lots on the plate for that one. Yeah, it's got a 383 in it, stroker motor.
Yep.
We're going to take some cubic inches out of it.
Okay.
That motor's it's either going to go in the vet or maybe this or something, and smaller cubic inches and bigger turbo. So my 383, that 7875 is on a T4 flange. You want to know what a fully spooled up T4 7875 sounds like? It's right now. It's what it's doing right now with it turned off. It's that small on the motor. So we're going to go bigger turbo. I eventually want to go smaller cubes in it, just more RPM. It's just the recipe that seems to be working for most people right now. And but that car is a cruiser. But it's like a show. It's more show than go, that car. It sounds good coming down the road.
Yeah. It's fun to have a little bit of everything. You're a want to go fast guy, but you don't always have to have everything go fast.
Right. And Paul Young's been helping me with the tuning on that car, along with Jake Barkel. But we took the car for the first decent drive in it this year, like 5 miles, and which is for the longest I've driven that car in years, and we forgot how fast that car is. Like, we got in it and rolling into it, and he's like, dude, that's only 25% throttle. I was like, I know, it's awesome, ain't it? He's like, yeah. So it's absolutely just right to drive. So, but yeah, and
I mean, it's an anniversary, but it's a modded anniversary. You go to car shows and you see factory F bodies, you see the F body anniversary cars, but you don't see a lot of people modifying them quite the way you do.
Nope.
It's tasteful. The work's done right.
Right. So, and the reason why I modified that car is when I got it, it was modified a little bit, So I was like, someone's already done it, so might as well.
Right. You didn't take another one.
Right. I wasn't taking a fresh LT4 car and cutting it up and being like, screw you, F-Buddy guys. I'm taking a super rare car. And I think that's my car's like one of without breaking it down Corvette math, it's one of 119 cars, because they made 119 30th convertible SS cars. That's what that car is.
I really didn't look into mine too much because there was already a little bit of a hack job done to it, and
right.
I needed to take saws and hammers and drills to make stuff fit, so I didn't want to know if I was hacking up anything rare. Right.
Corvette math is it's special.
Yeah.
Because I belong to some of the Corvette page. I mean, you bought it. That I had to join the pages.
They're helpful.
I didn't even know where to buy New Balances and jean shorts. So it's a different community for sure. The Corvette community, and
there's a lot of purists.
Yeah, like we did our interview with Cody Gartner, and that is him and I laugh because we have the same perspective on it, right? Like, I can appreciate the art that an engineer put into these cars, right? I do appreciate. That's why I take the way I modify my cars. The way I do is I appreciate the art that the engineer put into the car, but I want to put my own touches on it. So when you see the car coming down the road, you're not like, "Is that Don?" No, you know it's me coming down the road if I'm coming down the road. So, but
I think it's human nature to personalize everything. I mean, we all don't wear plain white shirts, live in a plain white house with the same picture hanging next to the window, you know, tattoos, even down to a bumper sticker. You know, everybody does a little bit of something to personalize the things that you live in. And car guys, sometimes we just take it a little bit, I don't want to say overboard, but...
Right, and there's people that they drive their cars. And then there's us that we're hobbyists. And we're artists, man. Like, which way we want to flay that, we're artists. We take something and we make it our own. And that's the sign of a good, I feel that is the sign of a good enthusiast. Yeah, cool. You can go buy a brand new Audi. You can go buy a brand new Charger. You can go buy a brand new friggin' whatever horsepower Camaro, never touch it. But you take, so like your first gen, these fourth gens that, they're 240, 20, or well, technically this one's 260 horsepower stock, and you make it something. That's art,
right?
And that's why we're all friends. We're all artists.
Because if there was one formula for going fast, everybody would do that.
Correct.
We'd all be buying the same parts, and it'd basically be a race between drivers. But there's not just one solid setup that's the best. So it's your own preferences, your own knowledge of what you've learned through experience, and, you know, old timers before you that passed down some of their real valuable knowledge that they have. And yeah, we're all taking our combination of ideas and trying to see who's going to be better today.
Right. And it's taking something that someone else has done, making it your own. They're changing it to make it better. Sometimes it's not better. Sometimes you completely screw the formula up, but sometimes you get it just right. And hopefully somebody younger can take a recipe you came up with, that I came up with, that somebody came up with, and they can alter it and make it even better. And that's what's happening right now in 2020, in the 2020s, you know? People are taking these recipes and they're taking stuff that people came up with back in the early 2000s at this point, even before that, but right, like, the 70s rolled in the 80s, the 80s rolled in the 90s, whatever. They're taking those formulas and they're making it their own, and they're making it better.
And like you mentioned joining forums earlier, I mean, the shared knowledge on there really helps you get stuff done. You know, figuring people who figured stuff out that it would take you 2 lifetimes to ever get to, and you can just look it up and find it.
Bro, I hope the forums never die.
Yeah.
Because you know how terrible that would be? Like, anybody who's an F-body person that watches this, I can go with LS1 Tech, and there's not a single person that modifies one of these cars that hasn't referred back to LS1 Tech at some point to find something. And I'm not even an LS1 guy, but I still go to LS1 Tech to find, like, the radiator I picked out when I did my stand-up in my 30th anniversary car. Because with the turbo, I had to stand it up to get stuff out of the way. I didn't design that radiator. I went to LS1 Tech, and someone had figured it out. And I was like, that worked for them? Cool, that's going to work for me. So is some of the routing and piping different? Absolutely it is. The way that I made my shroud and stuff, is it different? Absolutely it is. I made it my own. But the radiator selection, that was on a forum that someone else figured out.
Yeah, and we're old enough, we might have some younger viewers that don't know what life was like before internet. But if you needed to figure something out, you were taking a road trip to talk to somebody. Usually guys at scrap yards were good to chat with because they spend all day messing with all kinds of different vehicles. But you didn't just get to sit down or pull out your phone and, how do I do this? And it's convenient, man.
Yep, really. And I had the distinct... the advantage that my dad was a car guy, and his 78 wasn't stock. That thing ran bottom 10s, high 9s back in the 80s. And because that's got a Laputri built motor in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful 70. He still has it. And I could call him, my dad, and be like, Dad, I can't figure this out. Can you give me a hand? Or I could call my Uncle Teddy and be like, Uncle Ted, yeah, I got this going on. Is there something you have, some trick? And then they would teach me. And it was a good start. And then the forums kind of manipulate that a little bit, and you learn more because someone out there is a dad or an Uncle Teddy and help you out down the line. So
in between there for a little time, they had magazines. And that's where I got the idea for like the members ride submissions, because some of them you could flip to the back and you'd find one or two guys that sent their stuff in, and I always tried getting my Blazer in those, but it never ended up getting published. And
so it's a little sidetrack because people ask me all the time, even back in the day, because my car is a legit 4-page spread in GM High Tech. I didn't submit that. I was at Autorama.
Oh, okay.
And the editor, one of the editors for the magazine, approached one of my friends that was at the booth and said, I want that car in GM High Tech. And they pointed at my 30th. And this was at the SLP booth. Not Street Legal Performance. It was Street Lethal Performance. It's a car club out of it's all around Michigan and stuff like that. Dave Anatelli is the guy who started. He's an awesome guy. But they gave the information to Dave. They contacted me and they set up the shoot. And that was that. It was, some people think that it's a huge hoop to jump through, but it's not. You just got to get your stuff. You want to get sponsors and you want to get money for your car. That carsponsorship.com crap, it's all scam. Don't do it. If you need to get your car out there, you need to get it to shows, you need to get to big stuff. Like, you're going to Autorama. You want to know how you get sponsors? Autorama is like the Super Bowl of car shows. Yeah, we're not participating. We're not a participating team, but you know who is? The people with the Riddler Award upstairs. And those same people that are out there looking at the Riddler Award aren't just looking at the Riddler cars. They're looking at your stuff and my stuff and his stuff and your stuff. That's where they're getting that from, and that's how you get in a magazine or get good sponsorships. You need to put your own money into the project.
Right.
So, like, you're going turbos on yours. You're putting money into your stuff. You can't have $0 into your car and be like, you need to give me a sponsorship for speakers or lighting or a motor or something. You're not going to get it. You got to put your own money in. They want to see you want to put your money where your mouth is. And some people don't like to hear that. That's the truth of it. It's work. It's not easy to get sponsorships to get in publications.
Yeah, because there's a lot of car guys out there
that want the same thing.
Yeah, you got to stand out, and you're not going to do it with a stock car.
Yep, it's who's going to fight harder for it. And I honestly, my 30th would have never gotten the magazine in where it is if it wasn't for, a lot of my close friends like Alan Hill and them. They worked tirelessly to get my car cleaned up for Autorama and stuff. Like, the struggle. You're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Your motor's completely out of your car, getting it ready,
Out and apart.
Yeah, we did the same thing with my stuff. Car apart, brakes apart, wheels off it, everything getting repainted, touched up, interior stuff cleaned up. It's work. Some people don't want to put the work in. They want that carrot at the end of the stick. They don't want a friggin' Travis will get it.
Right. So speaking of stock cars, Poverty Vet got any big future plans?
Yeah. If we keep it, which I think we will for a minute, because the car is it is an absolute riot to drive. I do want to put nitrous on it because why not? And
it's not like
not like I got a shortage of nitrous. So want to put some nitrous on it, see how that does. It's a stock motored LT1. And I want to put like new door seals and stuff in it. I was going to have it repainted, but I think that would just take away from the car. We discovered when I had the new windshield put in it that the car has been on its lid. Yeah, it's been flipped over. Oh. So
that's not really easy to do, and have
in a Corvette.
Well, and to have it still be drivable too.
Right,
that's 2 feats in one.
Right, because the glass guys call me and they're like, "You should probably come look at this." And I was like, well, I can't get over there. So they sent me pictures, and the window frame is in like pieces. And I said, is that a problem? They said, no, that's a proper repair for it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it is what it is. I wanted you to see it. And I was like, so this has been on its lid. They said, our best guess is yeah.
Wow.
So now that you can see like some of the back quarter stuff on it, you can see it's a little bit out. And I was like, yeah, the car is solid. Beside that, it drives straight down the road.
Yeah.
Gets like 20 something miles to a gallon.
I'd never noticed it before. No,
people don't unless you start looking at that car. That car's a flaming piece of crap.
It looks good though.
It looks good. It's fun to drive, and I did some stuff to the interior to get it cleaned up a little bit, so it's not, seats aren't all tore up and beat up. Everything looks nicer inside. And so you're driving, you feel like you're in a nice car,
right?
Till you get out of it.
I mean, if it needs any work, it's not like you don't got the tools and the space, and,
right?
And even the friends that we have, you know.
Oh my God, dude, yeah.
Is there any specific shops that you feel like you want to name drop, thank for helping you out? Anybody in particular that comes to mind?
Jake Burkell's been a huge help with my 30th anniversary car, with daily driving and exotics. I got that one right? Yeah. And
Classic Daily.
Classic. Oh, dude, I do that all the time. Classic Daily. Can we edit that out?
We can edit that.
Okay. So Classic Daily, Paul's even here helping right now. I'd be completely screwed without Paul Young. He's a hell of a welder. He's done a bunch of exhaust work for a lot of us and a lot of welding, and he's a hell of a craftsman. And Alan Hill with Nemesis Motorsports, and he comes over and helps specifically a lot with my 30th anniversary in these cars. He actually drove my blue car this year racing because I can't, with my back being so screwed up. Man, props to you, you know. But I on back surgery 6, so Alan's been stepping in for driving, because normally Paul would, but Paul is she travels a lot for work, and oh my God, there's so many people. It's crazy. It's all my close friend circle that just come and help when I need something done, because if I can't do something, to get down and do it, because I don't move around so well right now. So
we got some good buddies.
Yeah, we do have a lot of good buddies. The same buddy helps you out, Mike Dotson. Oh my God, he comes over and saves my ass more times than I can count.
He'll come over and help you work on your car before racing him.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy he is.
He's helped me beat him before.
Yeah.
That's a good buddy.
Yeah, that is a good buddy.
So with all of these future plans we've been talking about, you got any socials that you want to drop so people can follow your build?
Yeah, I do post about like my 30th anniversary car a lot, and some of this stuff on social media. With on Instagram is 30th Vert, and then my Facebook profile, that's the whatever it is.
You do a little bit of YouTubing? I do a little bit of YouTubing.
I think that one's just under Don Middleton. You have to search for me, because I created it so long ago that
I'll find it.
Right. I'm not an active YouTuber like some people are. Like with us, we are, because I do thoroughly believe in this. But like me putting this stuff out there, I like to post some of my LT1 kicking some asses and sometimes getting its ass kicked.
Yeah.
So it happens.
You have your good days and your bad.
You have your good days and your bad. Everybody does. So, but no, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a hell of a ride.
It's been a lot of fun. And that's why we do this, so we can show everybody how much fun we have, and how much common our interests are with just other average car people out there.
Right.
So hopefully that's the attention that we're grabbing. And we want to thank you guys for watching another episode, Car Meet Garage. Thanks for having me over, Don.
Hey, thanks for coming. And tune in for the next one. I'm not letting them steal that one from me. Peace out, guys.
See ya.